Allison, thank you so much for your email. You were right on target with my thinking. So I know everyone got CC'd on Allison's email, and I'm so used to thinking like a computer screen. The link I sent before was my thoughts and feelings about how do we move forward in this strange time that we're in. And I totally hear you. I totally understand not being able to find time especially when you're a caregiver and you are responsible for other people's schedules, doctor's appointments, etc., etc., etc. So, how do we move forward? I think meeting in person is not going to happen for a while. As I said in the previous video, Building 50 is off limits. The doctor's office is basically off limits. I think it's a good summer to stay away from the commons. And going to Camille's, maybe not right now. So think about maybe meeting once a week on Zoom. I myself am taking a class with a couple of Master Zhang's students are doing a study group of the Bang, actually. And that's where I'm having these wonderful insights that I'm passing on to you in these videos. As soon as I feel like I understand it, I want to pass it on to you so that you can experiment with it too. Why did I say that? So my point is that meeting, that study group somehow works. I mean, it's on Zoom. People ask questions. So it's a real class. I mean, I feel like I've had a workout, and it's a way to have contact without driving around. I mean, if you don't have time to practice, it takes even more time to get in the car. I understand. It's like you got to have an appointment. You got to get there. But 3 hours, to come out to Camille's and have a class and go back into town. But I understand. It's like on the calendar it's going to happen. If it's not on the calendar, it won't happen. I feel like I'm not making any sense. I guess what I'm saying, as long as we are in this situation of needing to socially distance and wear masks, I'm out. Not because I don't believe, not because I'm like a pandemic, what do they call them, pandemic denier, and not because I'm afraid of the virus. It goes to something deep in my core, and it's a line that I do not want to cross. So that's my constraint. That's my own boundary. I'm committed to putting out 2 videos a week for you guys on Tuesdays and Fridays. I do many more than that, believe me, because some of them are just god-awful, I think, and so I don't post them. But so I'm committed to putting this information out, and it's an archive, it's a record that you can always go back to at any time. God, I wish I had that from Master Zhang. I wish I had it from Master Zhang, but it's all in here. So maybe it's a good time to take the summer off and not pressure yourself with having to do Tai Chi. Because like I said in the previous video, if you don't have time to practice, I remember when I was doing lessons, I was very ambitious. I felt like I've got to get as much as I can, out of this while, as long as he's teaching. And because he's getting older, he's 75, he's 80, he's 85, he's 90, he kept teaching, thank God. But I really pushed myself, and I started to back off when I was taking private lessons. I was going once a week, and I thought, oh, I'm going to class 3 times, hours and hours of class every week, and then I've got the private lesson. But when I came to the next private lesson, I did not have it in my bones yet, and he was disgusted. And so that was another, you don't come to class to practice, because the class might have been something so different than what I was working on, what he was working on with me. So another thing we could do is I could give little tutorials, little private tutorials. Then, or we could do duets, if you wanted to do it that way, for a little more one-on-one. I don't know, there's lots of options. Is that of any help? So think about it. If you don't have time to practice, you don't have time to practice. But 5 minutes, when you're making your tea, there's always a moment where you can be thinking about a principle. And how can you bring it into your life? It's not like Tai Chi is a separate thing, right? That lives out over here. It's how we engage with ourselves and how we meet the world. How can we meet the world comfortably? How can we move in the way that feels pleasing to us in whatever we do? If it's putting the book on the shelf, if it's sitting watching a movie, how can we make it more pleasing to ourselves so that we're comfortable, so that we're nurturing ourselves, so that we stay comfortable and safe? Stay safe. That's become a real word, a real phrase these days, hasn't it? So, okay, think about it. Email me back. I love you guys, and bye. Just a final word before we leave the studio. As a teacher, it would be my wish, it's my wish that we can all use this time, this very unusual time, this once in a lifetime chance, really, to change something fundamental about ourselves, that we come out of this, that we move forward into our future in a better way, in a way where we're more comfortable within ourselves. And I don't know what that looks like for each one of you, but as a teacher, it would be my wish, even if you took the whole summer off, that when we come back together, and you walk into the room, that everyone in the room notices that something has changed. And I don't know what it'll be for each of you, but how will we know what it is that has changed fundamentally for you, for the better, as a result of all this, sheltering in place? What is it that you want to change, that you could get to a better place, that you could move through the world in a more comfortable fashion, that's more to your liking, that's more the way you would like to be, and that everyone around you, the mailman, your dog, your cat, they notice. How will they know when this something has changed? I'll leave you with that as a question to meditate on for yourself. So, okay, home for dinner.